Welcome everyone to the Women's Fast Pitch. This week we have our regional pitches coming from the Southwest. So very exciting to have you all here. We have an amazing set of founders, and I want to welcome everyone, investors and entrepreneurs out there. I'm Dr. Sylvia Ma, the founder of the Women's Fast Pitch and Stella Labs that puts on this wonderful event, but we can't do it without our wonderful sponsor who took on the title sponsorship this year of the Women's Fast Pitch, and that is Cooley. Thank you so much. So I want to introduce you to Karen Duchaine, who actually started it all. She's a partner at Cooley, and she has been an incredible partner in the San Diego region, in the Southwest region for us at Stella Labs. And she is representing Cooley from San Diego, California. She practices in her practice encompasses a wide range of business and corporate matters. She represents primarily biotech and technology companies, my favorite, and investors in those industries. Frequently teaches at San Diego offices Cooley U sessions. We love those sessions. We love Cooley U. So thank you, Karen, for being part of today.
Thanks so much, Sylvia. Cooley is pleased to support the Women's Venture Summit and Fast Pitch competition. This is my personal second year being involved with Women's Venture Summit, and it's an event and a mission that is very important to me and to my firm. And firstly, congratulations to all of the presenters. I will be talking a little bit later about some topics of interest, but in the meantime, I'm excited to hear your pitches. For those of you who may not know Cooley, we're a global law firm with 1,300 lawyers across the United States, Europe, and Asia. We're best known for representing leading innovators across industries. We represent more than 40% of Wall Street Journal's billion-dollar company list, more than half of the companies on the NASDAQ Biotech Index. We're also a leading firm for venture capital financings. We're deeply committed to diversity, both for our own employees and our firm, as well as the women founders that we support. We recently ranked in Fortune's Best Workplace for Women, and for the 10th year in a row, we're named as the best law firm for women by Working Mother Magazine's parent company. These things we're really proud of. We are involved with several platforms with the goal of placing women on boards as well. In any case, we're so pleased to support this event and the women founders participating here today. So thank you again for allowing us to be part of it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Karen, as always, such a great promoter of the Women's Venture Summit. So I want to introduce you actually to the Women's Fast Pitch. Wanted to give you a little bit of historical background. We are in our 6th year, 6 years doing this. It has been wonderful in the last, since COVID. You know, there's a lot of things that are negative about COVID, but the positive things is that the virtual environment allowed us to go nationwide at the Women's Fast Pitch. So last year we took the plunge, and this year we again went into 6 regions of the United States, the Northwest, Southwest, Midwest, Northwest, and Southwest that you're hearing today. What was cool about this year was that we were able to go after founders and really allow founders from Alaska and Hawaii to be able to be incorporated into these pitch competitions. And today you will be hearing from a Hawaii a founder. So very exciting about that, to be able to go into those regions that really need the support for female founders and be able to rise up the amount of female investors out there. I know there is an investor out there in Hawaii that really allows for that ecosystem to breathe and grow. So thank you for your work out there. We have amazing founders today with us today. We're so excited to support them and promote them. The winner of today advances onto the Women's Venture Summit, which is taking place on September 17 and 18 this year. So please get your tickets early. There are some perks of getting them early and stuff like that. So the winner today advances again to the Women's Venture Summit. That's where she pitches again for the opportunity to get a $10,000 investment with additional $30,000 in in-kind services. So it is a great opportunity to be able to go on and also meet other investors at the Women's Venture Summit. So this event is actually brought to you by Stella Labs. It is a not-for-profit business accelerator. We increase representation and funding opportunities for female entrepreneurs. And we have our signature event that I just talked about, Women's Venture Summit, that we build bridges between entrepreneurs and investors. That's just what we live and breathe. We sit alongside those entrepreneurs where they are and really support them in the launch and growth of their businesses. But please stay tuned until the very end to hear about 2 special announcements from us. Now on to the judges. Thank you so much to our judges, who are judges investors. I always love saying that. I love to promote that because it's very important to understand for the audience out there, hi audience, that we have these judges that donate their time as investors. The first one up is Kim Seals. She's a general partner with the Jump Fund. The Jump Fund has invested in 30 women-led, Southeast-based companies since 2013 across their 2 venture capital funds. They do an incredible job in their region. And of course, they've been a mentor to us as Stella Labs and Stella Angels. So thank you so much. Kim also invests in early stage technology, healthcare, energy, fintech, consumer product, and media companies. Thank you for joining us today, Kim. Next is my partner at Ad Astra Ventures, Vidya Dinamani. So Vidya really is has a very deep experience in product management and loves coaching on product market fit. She helps strengthen female founders, guiding them through a research-based curriculum designed for women leaders, and supports them through direct investment through what we do at Ad Astra Ventures. Our mission is to get to even. Vidya also has a book that's out there for product managers and startups. I don't have it next to me. I usually have to bring it up, but it's a great book. Please go get it. We'll put it into the chat in a little bit. Next up is Julius Alejandro. He is a wonderful San Diego ecosystem builder alongside us. And thank you for being a judge today. He is the founder and project director of Village Up, a collaborative initiative to increase diversity and access to the San Diego startup tech ecosystem. He has years of experience in grassroots organizing, the nonprofit sector, and startup ecosystem building that have crossed intersections from economic development and health disparities that affect underserved communities. Thank you, Julius, for all that you do. We come right alongside you in everything that you do. Last but certainly not least is Joshua Mbuga. He is an impact investment fellow at Alliance Healthcare Foundation, refining the impact investment processes. He has helped us so much during this process at Women's Fast Pitch. Thank you so much for already giving of your time and giving today of your time as a judge. He is also a scout for GVC Ventures, an SPV in the Bay Area, and a volunteer analyst at Tech Coast Angels San Diego, so he understands the investment ecosystem. Thank you, Joshua, for being part of today. Now, going on to the pitch process. How will it go? So the founders all have had pitch prep. They are ready to go. They are going to give their 3-minute pitch to us. And then there's going to be a 5-minute Q&A by the 4 judges we just went through. Those questions are supportive. They're clarifying or promotion focused, because if you ask promotion focused questions, investors, you get promotion focused answers. And that's ideal to support female founders in the startup ecosystem. The judging rubric is the same from round 1, the same one as we're using today. And again, this judging rubric is a way that these judges can score, but also they are investors. So they understand the scoring. It's very typical to any investor out there. So without further ado, now it comes to meet the founders. Let's go. These are fantastic founders from the wonderful region of the Southwest. So our first pitch is coming up from Hawaii. Very exciting. We're going to see if she's, oh, hi, Kate, you are on. So wonderful. So our first pitch of the afternoon is from Kate Reimann of Rogue Wave Toys. You have the floor.
Thank you. All right, got it?
You are ready to go. Go ahead.
Wonderful, thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Kate, the founder of Rogue Wave. So how many of us have stood in the toy aisle holding a plastic toy and felt guilty because we knew we had to buy it, but we also knew the plastic wasn't going to disappear. So we shrug it off and say, well, we'll recycle it, right? I've been there. Now, how many of us have stood in front of our recycle bin wondering if that plastic can actually be recycled? It turns out those little arrows confuse most of us. And maybe because of this, 2/3 of Americans say they're willing to spend more money for a more sustainable product. Plastic isn't just confusing, it contributes to climate change. It's dirty in the beginning of its life and in the end. It's bad for marine life and it's bad for human health. And of all the plastics out there, including beach toys, only 9% has ever been recycled. And when it is, it can only be recycled a few times. Every piece of plastic ever made still exists in some form somewhere on the planet. Yet in spite of this, the plastic industry is expected to double by 2025. In fact, every minute, the equivalent of a garbage truck's worth of plastic ends up in our oceans. During this pitch alone, that's 5 garbage trucks worth of plastic. We want to change that. We're Rogue Wave and we make certified compostable beach toys consumers can feel good about. So how are we different from conventional plastic? Our plastic is 100% plant-based and certified compostable in active landfills and industrial compost facilities. Certified compostable means no microplastics, no toxic residue left behind, and it also means no confusion over recycling. In other words, we have designed plastic pollution out of the equation. So why beach toys? Well, after a day at the beach with my kids, I realized it was pretty tone deaf to be using this very destructive material right where we interface with the ocean. But it's not just for me. Americans spend an average of $500 per year per child, and since the beginning of the pandemic, they're only buying more toys. So who wants our beach toys? Meet Sarah. She's a millennial stay-at-home mom who lives within driving distance of the beach and is concerned about how her consumer choices affect the planet. But how many Sarahs are there? Well, 1 million millennials are becoming mothers each year. 70% of millennials earn more than the national median income. And millennials keep moving closer to the beach. And climate change is their top concern. In fact, 90% of millennials will buy from a brand whose social and environmental practices they trust. Let's talk about millennials. They spend $600 billion a year. They make more than half their purchases online. They like relevant in-feed ads, and online content drives their purchase decisions. And this makes sense because they're spending more time on apps than watching television. So we target them where they live, on the internet. Millennials also love strong brand values and experiences, so we're opening our wholesale channels to conservation-focused venues, boutique stores, and oceanfront hotels, putting us directly in front of those millennial moms. Despite some serious delays in production due to COVID, climate change, and supply chain issues, our customers continue to stand behind our product. They are committed to our mission to make better products using better materials. There are existing sustainable beach toy alternatives, namely the beach itself, but we have positioned ourselves as the most sustainable and the most affordable for those who must have a toy. But we're not stopping at the beach. We're expanding to sell our proprietary compostable durable plastic to businesses who want to make it better. And to maximize that effort, I'm building the first end-to-end plant-based durable plastic compostable loop, addressing perhaps the most difficult area of compostable plastics, the composting. So why invest in me? Because I had an idea, and armed with Google and a mission, I made this product. I spent 18 months on R&D testing for the right material. When I couldn't find anyone to help me prototype, I bought a 3D printer and printed the prototypes myself after teaching myself how to use it. I self-funded as long as I could, then secured a loan to move the business forward. My belief in an alternative to a petroleum-based economy has gotten me this far. Your belief in this mission can take it even further. Thank you for your time, and I am ready for your questions.
Wonderful job, Kate. Excellent product. The Q&A will be led by Vidya and Joshua. Vina, you're off mute, and we would love to come see you. So
just going through the technical. Kate, that was fantastic. You've got such a big, impactful mission. It's just really kind of just goosebump worthy. So well done, and I love the pitch. A really clear story and really clear focus on your customer. But I want to go into what's next. I thought you were going to go to. I started with beach toys, and now I'm going to go to these different markets, continually focusing on maybe different types of kids' toys, but you went to a completely different direction, which I think is really exciting and big. And I want you to hear a little bit more about what this looks like and what that end-to-end loop means, and what, just give us a little more detail around that.
Absolutely, thank you. So, I literally had no background in this. So as I started realizing how costly it is to create your own molds for products, I thought, there's a better way for me to see the change that I'm really looking for. And what I really want to do is flood the market with alternatives so that we can bring the overall cost of the raw resin down, because that's really the barrier to entry at this point. It is really expensive, right? I mean, we retail for $34.99. People will pay that, but that's not accessible to everybody. And we need to, eventually, I'd like to make this accessible to everybody. And the way that we can do that is not by me continuing to make my own products. I think that would take a lot longer. I would love to do that, but I think we can get there faster if I can make this material accessible to other businesses, either startups or longstanding businesses who are looking for an alternative. And then to your second point, your question about the closed loop sort of system. Another thing that I found in this business is that, so sort of a couple of things have happened, right? We have a greenwashing that's happened with bio-based plastics. So consumers have been made to feel like if they have something that says plant-based or bio-based, this is good, it's better, and it's going to disappear. And that's not always true. So then there was a backlash from the sustainability community. Now bioplastics have sort of a bad reputation. So I kind of looked at this problem and thought, okay, well, that's not all true, right? It's not all false. There's a little bit in each of those arguments. How can we distill this to a really workable solution? One of the biggest problems with bio-based plastics is that they need a certain end of life in order to actually compost, right? They need an industrial compost facility, or they need some sort of aerated component. Not everybody has those, right? We don't even have them in Hawaii, where I am located. So I'm trying to figure out a way that we can, I'm actually in talks right now with Green Mountain Technologies up in Seattle, and they have these sort of smaller versions of a compost facility that you can take on yourself. It's an old shipping container, and sorry, I know I'm getting really in the weeds. I just love this stuff.
Oh, I know, it's great. Just I mean, and I want to make sure that Joshua has time for a question. So just as you close on this, just pull up and just tell me, just maybe in 1 or 2 sentences, just what do you mean by closed loop? And I think that would really help us understand.
Yeah, thank you. So that's really what this is getting a system like this in place where we can divert the waste. Implementing a take back program, I think, will be difficult, but people can change. Changing consumer habits is hard, but that's what we have to do in order to really make this a closed loop system. So the bigger vision is Rogue Wave materials that has an emblem. You know where it goes. It goes to one of our take back facilities. It is properly composted into soil, and then we, get rid of that soil, put it back out in the community, grow more plants that we're using for our production for the resin. So that's really what, big picture, 10 years from now, that's what I'm hoping to achieve.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I'll just echo what was said previously. Amazing presentation. It really is awe-inspiring what you've been able to do so far. Just one question, because I know we're limited on time. I'm just curious. You mentioned right now you're still building most of these products yourself. Do you plan on? Oh, you're not? No,
just the first. Yeah.
Oh, do you have like a third party you're manufacturing with? And
yes,
do you feel like that'll be scalable?
Manufacturer in Indiana. We're just waiting on one of our colors resin production to finish. Like I mentioned in this slide, we've been really delayed with COVID and then just every other single issue. So we're close, and then we will run our first production run.
Okay. Is any step in your process sort of proprietary, or is all kind of open?
Yeah, the material is proprietary.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's all I had. I think we're out of time too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, if you have a short question, Vidya, or you're good.
I'm good. I think that was really comprehensive. Really well done, Kate.
Thank you so much. As you can tell, I get really excited about it. So I'm sorry to be a little bit rambly, but there's a...
No, that's exciting that you're excited. That's what investors want to see, is a founder who is just larger than life and excited about their company. So well done.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Up next, we have our next pitching founder is Cara Armstrong of Baby Barista. And I think that she's probably on. We'll see. As she's coming on, I'll just let people know that you are on YouTube right now. So want to make sure that you are liking us on YouTube. You want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's Stella Labs, and the chat is blowing up down there. So make sure that you are chatting it up, letting people know that atta girl, wonderful job, wonderful presentation, great questions, judges. So all of that is very encouraged. So thank you so much for all of them, every one of the audience member that are doing that. But now we have Baby Barista up. So you are ready to go.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cara Armstrong. I'm the founder and CEO of Baby Barista, and we're on a mission to make infant formula simple. I'm a veteran emergency room nurse and lucky mom to 3 beautiful children. My youngest daughter, Mia, was born with Down syndrome, and characteristic of that condition, she was unable to breastfeed. So I found myself in my kitchen every 2 hours making infant formula the old-fashioned way. It was time-consuming, aggravating, and messy. And when I learned that there was no automated solution, I used my skills as a registered nurse and mom to invent one. Meet Baby Barista. It makes the perfect infant formula bottle in under 30 seconds with just the touch of a button, even from your bed at 3 a.m. To describe it in one sentence, it's the Nespresso machine for infant formula. And here's the key difference. Oh, excuse me. Here's the key difference. There's only one piece to clean. Unlike the competitive offering, Unlike the competitive offering that requires you to hand wash, disassemble the machine and hand wash up to 10 plastic components after every 4th use, we only have one piece to clean. And when you're doing that every 2 hours, it really negates any convenience that a machine offers. But we wanted to be more than just a standalone disconnected piece of hardware. We wanted to be a complete ecosystem of products to take all the pain points away from formula feeding. We sell the machine as a one-time purchase, and with it, we sell premium organic formula by monthly subscription. Our mobile app allows mom and dad to create a bottle from anywhere, to track their baby's feedings, and to manage their formula supply. And the result is really a novel customer experience, the likes of which no other brand can offer. Zooming out, here's our 5-year projected P&L. We're confident that by year 5, we can achieve $18 million of EBITDA on $110 million of revenue. The global infant formula market is massive and growing, but we're going to focus on the US market exclusively. So let's take a deeper dive. The total addressable market, that's all babies born in the United States, whether they're breastfed or formula fed, is $5.2 billion. About half of that market, or $2.6 billion, is comprised of known infant formula sales, but we're laser focused on the $1 billion liquid formula category. It's the fastest growing category due to an increased demand for convenience. We have 2 notable partnerships. One is with Aero Electronics. They're going to certify that our machine is going to be fully functional and all the componentry within the machine will have a long and healthy life. We're also very proud to be partnered with the largest independent formula provider in the nation that provides premium organic formula to its customers. And we know that parents are going to be very proud to feed their babies our formula. Previously, we raised $800,000 from friends and family that believed in our vision. We have a fully functioning prototype that's protected by 4 granted patents. We have this formula partnership that I described to you, and we have the interest of 5 major North American retailers. We've also generated millions of media impressions organically. We were named one of California's top design innovations on a show called California by Design. We beat out 5,000 startups in the United States to be designated as one of Pepperdine's most fundable companies. And we've been mentioned in Fast Company magazine in USA Today. We have an incredible team and advisory board, and we're currently raising $700,000. We have $278,000 currently committed, and I'm excited to tell you more and to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Wonderful job, Cara. Loved hearing your pitch. And your question and answer will be led by Kim and Joshua.
Hi, Cara. A great presentation. Thank you so much for sharing. A couple of questions, and I'll turn over to Joshua. The formula, is it one formula, or do you have the ability for the consumer to customize based on certain things that they would like to put in their formula?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking it. So our initial offering will be a licensed formulation from this provider premium organic infant formula that really clearly mimics what people are seeking. Moms are going over to Europe and importing formulas due to the clean ingredients in those formulations. So we're starting with that one offering. We will quickly scale to offer a follow-on formula. Follow-on formula is what you feed your baby when they reach 12 months of age instead of milk, because it offers a lot of brain support. And our formula partner already has 2 formulations for follow-on formula, but the big dream would be to have, a variety of formulas in our proprietary packaging.
And what is the lifespan of the device, the one-time purchase device? How will it last for a couple of years? Will it last in multiple babies? What can a parent expect?
That's a great question. Yes, it absolutely will. We expect the machine to be on mom and dad's kitchen countertop for at least 17 months. That's based on the metric that each U.S. household has 1.9 children. So we expect that it will survive the first baby and move on to the second one, perhaps become a legacy item that's passed from sister to sister or friend to friend.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then final question, do you plan to own the entire sort of manufacturing life cycle for the long term, or is this a short term, let me get the product market fit, and then we'll find partners to help us with manufacturing?
Yeah, so that's where Aero Electronics really comes in. They're a Fortune 500 company, and they're providing guidance for us every step of the way. They provide a pro bono engineer to make sure that all the componentry is healthy inside of our machines, and to guide us to really create a machine that's not only manufacturable, but will be successful once it's manufactured. So we're currently identifying our manufacturing partners with their assistance.
Perfect. Thank you. Great job. Joshua?
So much.
Thanks, Tim. And I'll just echo what Kim said as well. A great presentation and really amazing product you've developed. I'm just curious, as my first question, of the research you've done ahead of going to market, does it seem like consumers are going to be willing to pay the $300 upfront and then the $175 a month for the consumables? Is that sort of a concern, or do you feel like it's a good price point given all the benefits of the platform?
Yeah, we definitely have wiggle room where the price point is concerned. The competitive offering comes in at $199, and they currently have a class action lawsuit. They were identified by the New York Times in 2020 for misdosing formula, and infants were malnourished as a result. So we feel like we're coming in at a great time. The main point of differentiation is that we designed an aseptic system, so none of the formula touches any of the internal componentry of our machine. Instead, it's mixed and dispensed in that external chamber that's dishwasher safe, and it will be boxed with 2 of those so that you can seamlessly keep one in the dishwasher and one up in the machine. I think the price heuristic parents are going to pay not only for the convenience, but for the safety aspect. And when amortized over the life of the machine, 17 months, it's really $17 a month that you're paying for this additional convenience. In terms of the infant formula price point, that $179 price point puts us in the high end of the powder cost continuum, but cheaper than ready to feed. And the issue with ready to feed formula, as you probably know, is that once you crack that container open, you only have 24 hours to use it. So there's a lot of waste associated with it.
Okay. And another quick question just around like the patents and the proprietary aspects of the system. are the, I think of the deck you mentioned, you have like 3 patents. So those utility patents?
So I have 4 patents, 2 design patents, and 2 utility patents.
Okay, cool. Only questions I have.
Thank you so much.
Kim, do you have any other questions?
I guess maybe just a follow on about where you're headed from here. You mentioned the one formula. You said your goal is to have multiple formulas. Do you envision this applicability for different aspects of feeding children? This is such an important topic around the healthy baby and growing toddlers. You know, any future applicability that you're thinking about?
We absolutely do. I mean, we believe that the technology is really cradle to grave technology, that there will be applications throughout the lifespan. But of course, as an entrepreneur, I want to remain laser focused on the problem that I'm solving, which is a very relatable problem of infant formula preparation. We're confident that we can scale and move into other areas of infant nutrition and pediatric nutrition.
Great. That's it for me, Sylvia. Great job, Cara. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good job.
Wonderful job, Cara. Thank you so much for the wonderful questions also from the judges. While we get the next pitch ready to go, wanted to shout out again the Women's Venture Summit sponsors, especially for the Women's Fast Pitch. And again, you've heard from Cooley. You're going to hear from Cooley again while the judges deliberate. But we also had wonderful sponsors come in. Next Wave Impact Foundation and the Impact Seat were also wonderful sponsors for the Women's Fast Pitch. The Impact Seat also donated their time to actually pitch prep a couple of our Women's Fast Pitch founders. So that was an excellent value add as well. So our next founder is Vina Sommaretti of Neuro, Rehab, VR. I think that you're ready to go. You're up and ready. The floor is yours.
Okay, awesome. Thank you everybody for the opportunity. I'm going to share my screen quickly. Can everybody see my screen?
It's still coming up. Now we see it. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Cool. I'm Veena, the CEO of Neuro Rehab VR, here to introduce you to the next generation of rehab station. Each year, millions of Americans need physical therapy after suffering a neurological incident. And Joe here is one of them. His stroke left him paralyzed on one side and he cannot really move his fingers. But there is hope for Joe and others. The concept of neuroplasticity suggests that your brain has the ability to recover from a stroke. That is, the healthy parts of your brain can take over the functionality of the damaged areas. But this requires extensive physical therapy and cognitive training. So Joe, he wants to get better. But physical therapy can be expensive. Clinics are far and apart, so transportation is the problem. Only 30% of patients attend all of their therapy appointments. And on most days, he's too depressed or in pain to go to an appointment. And when he does make it to the clinic, he finds therapy tedious and does not want to do it. And with COVID-19, there has been a bigger impact with clinics shutting down and patients not being able to access the care that they need. That is why we create virtual reality apps leveraging the concepts of neuroplasticity. We provide evidence-based, fun, engaging, and motivating therapy exercises. The company is located inside a neuro clinic, so we have access to physical therapists and patients every day who provide us with constant feedback. Our device is an FDA-registered medical device. The gamified therapy is highly engaging for patients and provides a new therapy tool for the therapist. There is also a vast body of research that shows VR works for physical therapy and the insurance reimburse the therapy sessions. Currently, we sell to hospitals, universities, and senior care centers. So our current customers are large top-tier hospitals in the US such as Ascension, Tenet, Cedars-Sinai, and the VA, and we follow a subscription-based model with a minimum of 1 year commitment. The market is large. Just the outpatient physical therapy market is $60 billion and growing at a 7% rate. We started in the neuro segment and have expanded to pediatrics and geriatrics, and now we're working with orthopedic patients. So there is opportunity for vertical market expansion with just the existing library of VR exercises. We have accomplished a lot with less. We have completed an FDA approval process. Our system is clinically validated by hundreds of patients, and we have issued patents and trademarks. Here is the team behind all the work. I have a background in game design and virtual reality medical simulation and training. Our lead VR engineers have PhDs and are pioneers in the VR space. Our clinical team has extensive experience in neuro rehab as well as vestibular rehab. We have found product market fit and have 95% renewal rates. And now we are building our sales and marketing team to reach our revenue goals and continue to build therapy exercises to help millions of patients like Joe lead a happy and independent life. Thank you.
Wonderful job, Vina. I can't wait to hear the question and answer. So your question and answer will be led by Julius and Kim.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Julius and Kim.
Do you want to go, Julius? Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Hi. First off, Vina, that was an awesome presentation. In regards to your virtual reality, do you have patents on the creation of the world, and you use like Unity engine and so forth? Do you have patent on those, or are you using a common space like Altspace VR, if that makes sense?
Oh no, we build all the applications. So we do use the Unity engine. It's more of an engine, and build everything. We use C# for programming. So we have patents on the software that we have built. Yeah, we do not use a third party app like Altspace.
Hi there, Kim Seals. Great job. Appreciate the presentation. Such a fascinating space of where virtual reality is headed. Can you tell us a bit about your plan to really differentiate your solution from your competitors, and maybe just a bit about that competitive advantage?
Yeah, definitely. Our biggest competitive advantage has always been having access to physical therapists and patients every day. And we're able to add features and add exercises that others cannot, because they don't have access to, the brain power of all the physical therapists that we have. And we are also the only company in the space to have both upper extremity training and lower extremity training, which we are able to cover the whole body compared to other systems that only work on one part of the body. So that already differentiates us. We also have the largest library of educational content, and that's the reason we get a lot of inbound leads into our website, because we have video showing how to integrate VR into clinical setting, blog posts, and also webinars, which brings where we kind of established ourselves as the subject matter expert in the space.
And have you done any research or published any papers yet about the efficacy of what you're doing and what, sort of the impact that it's having in the rehab space?
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of case studies. So we have published those. We are working on a large-scale research study, so we can publish papers too. It's just about how many resources you have in a startup. Yeah.
Sure. I remember you said you had some patents. I don't recall you talking about any FDA approval requirements, or is this considered a wellness device, so it doesn't need any FDA approval? Can you just educate me a bit on that?
Yeah, definitely. It is an FDA registered device. So we did go through the approval process. Okay. And it's not a wellness device. We've completed the process.
Sure.
And
Julius, over to you.
Thank you, Kim. In regards to expansion, the rehab is very general, different industries. I'm just thinking about our veterans. Have you thought about like expanding to that, penetrating those like the government entities, especially housing our veterans and so forth, especially areas of like student athletes and so forth?
Yeah, definitely. The VA is a big customer of ours right now. We are in 4 different VA locations with multiple devices. And we have thought about athletes too. We're going to start with, for sports therapy, we'll be starting with the elderly patients who have tennis injuries, golf injuries, and then we might expand to sports therapy with more athletes and NFL players, because that requires a little bit more of work and exercises to build different exercises versus the library that we have right now. So we're trying to expand 2 areas that we can with the existing library, and then build more as we figure out sales and marketing and all of that. And we have good traction on the diagnosis that we currently have.
And just to add on, in regards to, it seems like it needs from the video, it needs a physical place. Will there be an option of vertical where people can just do it at home who do have Oculus set, or do they need to actually go to your facility for those rehab?
Yeah, right now we are concentrating on our B2B sales. We definitely thought about sending the system home. We also did a trial. It worked amazingly well. We were able to send the system home, create a therapy plan. The recovery was amazing, but our margins were much lower. on that part of the business than our margins on our B2B. So we're sticking to B2B right now because we're too small to like do everything, but that's definitely in our roadmap. We know it works at least, yeah.
That's awesome to hear.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I think, Sylvia, we might be good to go.
Okay. Wonderful. No,
Great
I
job.
love these questions. They were very specific. I love it. And Vina's like, yes, and yes, and yes. I love that. Thank you so much, Vina, for that taking your time with us. And thank you to the judges for wonderful questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, while we head off to the next pitch, we want to make sure that everybody knows we're very social. We're very much on social media. We are always trying to get engagement from our audience and want more people to come to the Women's Venture Summit. So on Instagram, you can follow us on We Are WVS. We are also Stella Labs on Instagram and also Stella Angels. So follow us, get engaged with us, ask questions, always send DMs. We love DMs. Mention us on your stories and just grow the women's economy by helping each other out, supporting each other. So the next pitch coming up is Elizabeth Skwiot. Hopefully I said that right. I never asked you that. So thank God that I did that right. Elizabeth is I know you're okay with me saying that. So, and she is the founder of Cirque-It Fitness. Well done, and go ahead and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Squiot, founder of Cirque-It Fitness. Circus-infused circuit training, the serious workout that's serious fun. Boutique fitness is booming, and it's even more competitive after the pandemic as gyms and fitness studios fight for every last consumer dollar amid social distancing regulations and cleanliness protocols. Cirque-It Fitness is the solution to help gyms and studios build back business. Everything you need for our one-of-a-kind workout experience fits in a single suitcase, including our patented adjustable height trapeze bar. There's no sharing of equipment. Exercisers can maintain social distance, and they get a full body workout in only 45 minutes with easy cleanup. Our business model consists of 3 components. First, we have our one-day certification workshop for fitness professionals. With investment, we would launch our monthly subscription to support licensing fees from studios and trainers, and our equipment, including the adjustable trapeze you saw in the video and aerial fabric. And that fabric could also serve as an additional revenue stream for gyms. To go to market, we would use the existing distribution channel of gyms and studios across the US, naming one studio as an authorized training center in Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Chicago, and New York. Now, these centers would add Cirque-It Fitness to their classes and conduct certification workshops to grow the brand. And in these cities, there's the high penetration of fitness into the general population. We already have traction in the industry with over 100 trained instructors across the US and Canada, and endorsements from coaches of Olympic gold medalists and physical therapists. I'm Elizabeth again. I founded Cirque-It Fitness. I developed the IP, co-wrote the manual, and co-invented the trapeze. And our creative advisor is Drea Weber, Popstar Pink's aerial coach and choreographer. The investment opportunity today is $1 million at a negotiable deal structure. I've already invested over $100,000 of my own funds, and I'm committed to seeing a return on that investment. We'd spend $300,000 of that investment developing monthly content to support licensing fees, and another $300,000 in marketing to generate revenue. Now, we hope this doesn't happen, but in case of another shutdown, we have a plan in place ready to go. We would launch a direct-to-consumer innovative fitness video series. We've already spoken with the team that produced the most successful fitness video series ever made, and they are excited to work with us. I have experience in digital fitness. I'm an instructor on Wellbeats. One of my videos was the most played of last quarter. And we have a pricing structure in place based on an existing platform. In sum, Cirque-It Fitness is the solution to help gyms get back to business and get people excited to work out again. We are the next big innovation in an $87 billion global industry. So come one, come all to the future of fitness.
Sorry, it was getting very, I couldn't get off of mute, but you did a great job, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. And the judges that will be asking your questions are Vidya and Julius.
Great.
Hey, Elizabeth, well done.
Hi,
How
thank you
fun
so
is
much.
that? I was like, what a novel and interesting way to work out. It's just looks like a ton of fun, and you clearly look like you're having fun while you're producing this. So that's great. I've got two questions. The first is, tell me a little bit more about, you've got 101 trainers. What are they finding? Like, are people coming back to the classes? What are people saying? Like, what's the responses that you're getting to people who are actually experiencing these classes?
That's a great question. And people, I will tell you the three things that people always say is it's really hard, it's really fun, and it goes by really fast. And I really think if people are saying that about this workout, I've created the perfect workout. I will tell you, I've taught classes with people in them, people that haven't worked out in years, all the way up to former professional athletes. And everyone can be challenged in this workout in the same class. So it's really accessible to a wide demographic. And I will tell you, I've even had a studio just in our last training. She reached out to me because she said, I need something new and exciting to get people back in my gym in the pandemic. They're kind of scared, but wellness is on top of everyone's mind. And so I really think it hits all of those pain points from not only the consumer side, but also the business owner side as far as in fitness.
And I thank you. And I really like the fact that you focused on B2B and that you're helping gyms and getting more customers. And there's always new types of techniques that people are wanting to go through. But I'm curious as to when you talked about if there another shutdown, then we'll go to online. Tell me a little bit about why you wouldn't pursue both of those models at the same time, given that you're producing videos and all this information and you've got different instructors that are teaching.
Well, I'll answer that kind of in two ways. So first of all, our instructor program, so as far as the professional training, when COVID hit, we actually modified the workout so there was no sharing of equipment. So there used to be people would go from station to station. So we modified that to help keep people safe. And then now we are actually able to train people in virtually. So we actually added 2 exercise charts where there are kind of at-home modifications that some people can do in lieu of the studio version. We do want to keep that studio version kind of premier because we obviously want to support, because we are a B2B company, we want to support the gyms and studios who actually really, really need a solution like this right now. At the same time, we don't right now directly want to make our primary focus as B2C because as one of the other entrepreneurs mentioned, it's really important to keep our focus as entrepreneurs, but we also want our investors to know we have a plan in place and we want them to know that we are motivated to move forward should there be changes in the world, which do seem to happen every day. So
absolutely, we never know what's going to happen next. Thanks, Elizabeth. I'm going to hand it over to you, Julius.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth. That was an awesome presentation. So I have 2 questions.
Okay.
What makes you differentiate from someone purchasing a Peloton, that Peloton bike? That gamifies it. How can just how you differentiate from a consumer who wants to go to your product compared to, hey, I'll just get a Peloton.
Right. So our consumer are primarily the fitness studios and then trainers. So if people are familiar with, let's just say, a Zumba model, a trainer might go to a workshop and then that trainer would pay Zumba a monthly licensing fee to retain their status as a Zumba coach. So we would also do that and then also take a licensing fee from the gym. So this way, if people want to get out of the house, and I know that some people do get out of the house to get their workout in and get that personalized experience in person, it offers that kind of premium experience that I'm positive there's so many great virtual systems there, but nothing could really make up for that, personal face-to-face experience. And we've been able to do that in a way that people can maintain social distancing and stay safe at the same time. Yeah.
Definitely. And then my second question is in regards to, would you be targeting like just regular gym like Choose and 24-hour fitness, or those specialty gyms like boxing clubs and those who are like focusing on very specialized way of engagement?
Well, we can actually support all of those gyms. So for example, at a regional chain or at a national chain, it's certainly something that could fit into, let's just say, the personal training side of things, because it's really small group training. So it's really a win-win for everyone, because the consumer can get more personalized training at a fraction of the cost of that personal trainer, but the gym is getting more revenue per hour than they would if they got, one personal training hour. So it's a win that way. And it's also great for, let's just say, the mom and pop gym down the street that's, maybe seeing a downturn in revenue after COVID. It's something new and excited to get people in the door, something they can add in without having to add on square footage.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions from Vidya or Julius? Vidya?
No, that was great. Elizabeth, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
good
so
luck.
much for your time.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth. Thanks, Vidya and Julius, for such great questions. And while we wait for the next person to come up, our judges are using a judging technology called Rocket Judge today. We used it last year and we loved it so much. And we talked to Rocket Judge and they came in as a sponsor for this year. So it's very exciting that we get to use it again. It is a flexible judging platform that lets you make your competitions more exciting, dynamic, and stress-free. Simply add judges, competitors, and Rubric and watch the scores roll in. You can try a free demo at rocketjudge.com. So thank you again, Rocket Judge, for being such a great sponsor for us and making it so easy for our judges to put in their scores and we get them right away so we can have great discussion on who would be the winner of today. And our last pitch of the afternoon is coming to us right now, and she is Melissa Kiguwa of Obánj. And I think she's on. Yes, Melissa, wonderful. The floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Wonderful.
I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here. Can you all see it?
I can see it, and you're ready to go.
Fantastic. So hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Kiguwa, and I am the founder and CEO of Obánj. Obánj is a sustainable luxury company where members are able to borrow high-end designer jewelry like Dior, YSL, Chanel, Hermes, my favorite, and more for a monthly membership. Members can also purchase pieces at a discounted price. So I started Obánj because I am my ideal customer. I started my career in media and entertainment and always felt a tension between purchasing luxury fashion and fashion accounting for 10% of global carbon emissions. I thought surely my dollar isn't going towards the detriment of the planet just to look good. So as I considered the market, I knew the circular economy was really the most sustainable option when it comes to fashion. And the market has already been validated. So as I sort of dug into the data and dug into the numbers, I thought about what I specifically had to offer the space and saw the intersection of offering high-end jewelry instead of garments like La Tote or Rent the Runway, and really honing in to serve an underserved segment of customers. Now, focusing on Black women isn't altruistic. It's just good business. African-American women are 2 times more likely than the general population to shop at Neiman Marcus, are 21% more likely to spend $500 or more on costume jewelry, are 63% more likely to say they shop at high-end stores like Saks Fifth Avenue and Nordstrom's. And one of my favorites, African-American women spend 60 million of the 385 million overall national spend on luxury watches and timepieces. This is the literal definition of an untapped market. So our interface is both beautiful and simple for members to use and to check out jewelry. We have $40,000 worth of jewelry, and members have the option to self-select jewelry on the site, or they may have pieces chosen for them through text. I am supported by an amazing tech team, and my CTO is also a woman of color, passionate about making waves in the industry. You may have seen her in the chats saying great job to everybody. And our advisors bring supply chain, marketing, and financial expertise. So we're incredibly lucky. We are currently running a pilot with 100 members and have learned so much about our members and how they use the platform. We've also generated quite a bit of press. We are currently running a crowdfund to bring in family, friends, and excited investors who believe in what we're doing. We've already raised 60% of our minimum goal, and I encourage anyone who is interested to check out our campaign. And if you feel inspired, invest, become a part of the Obánj family. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to answering your questions in the Q&A. Thank you.
Wonderful job, Melissa. And thank you for having your WeFunder campaign there. Your question and answer will be led by Vidya and Joshua.
Hey, Melissa, that's so cool. I think just having access, what a fun that every one of you have just got these really exciting and impactful products and businesses that you're building. So I'm curious as to where you're sourcing these materials, because you talked about it being high fashion, very sort of on trend, big brands. So where is it? Because I imagine people don't want to be wearing something that was 6 months ago or a year ago. So tell me a little bit about where all this stuff is coming from.
Yeah, 100%. So we do consider ourselves like the second closet of our members. So we can have pieces that are on trend now, but we can have pieces that are sort of older. What we found with our members is social signifiers are really important. If the Chanel is showing, they don't mind if it's last season, but we source from secondhand consignment stores or luxury retailers. And this is because no one really expects our pieces to be new, and we can especially lean into the vintage. And so you've got stores like The Real, Fashion File. We really work with vendors that already have a luxury authentication team. That's really important. So all our pieces can be verified and are shown to be authentic. But even more so when we're able to get into the sort of resale market and work with them and purchase in bulk, we can get pieces that are almost 80% off, right? So you imagine a Lanvin necklace that's worth $1,000, but maybe we're paying $150 for it. And again, it is because it's on the resale market. So that's sort of our specialty, and we focus on that for now.
That's great. So I want to think about, like, a lot of these places that you rent from, if you love it, you can keep it. Are you thinking about that strategy as well?
Yeah, so we've actually found out some really exciting things when it comes to pricing and what we can do around, our members. So one, yes, they absolutely can keep pieces if they want. They get it 20% off of the retail value of the piece. So you think, Obánj, we're buying pieces at a significantly discounted price, but they're purchasing it with a discount off of the retail value. So we always get at least about a 35% profit margin there. But what's more exciting about what we've learned about price points is our members they already spend, right? Like, they already spend in these high-end stores and actually over-index more than most demographics. And so we found that we can increase our prices. So our sort of introductory prices started at $29 and $49. $49 is that sort of sweet spot. We can bump that up to $49 and $99. But the most exciting thing we found is members are actually very excited about one-time rentals where they don't have to become members. And women are willing to purchase or rent at least 20% of the retail cost. So $1,000, they're willing to rent it for $200 for a 7-day period. And that's pretty fantastic too. So we're finding out all sorts of really interesting information from our members that sort of show how we can scale, but also show how we can really sort of, be at profit,
No, that's fantastic. And before I just turn to Joshua, I just want to say I love all these facts and numbers at your fingertips, and really sort of helps sort of shine a light, makes the argument really clear. So thank you for doing that. Joshua.
Thanks, Vidya. Yeah, I'll just echo that as well. Great presentation and really interesting service. I think I personally know a lot of people that would love this service, and I'll tell them about it now that I know about it.
Bring them on, Josh. Bring them all on.
Absolutely. I do have one question. I actually have two questions. First question is more around the pilot. How long have you been running that pilot for?
Yeah, so the pilot's been running since February. We went from sort of a pilot model because obviously COVID sort of impacted the rental fashion space. And so in order to sort of still be out, still be interacting with members and still be learning from real customers, we decided to hold it as a pilot and really go out with a full launch early next year. And so right now, what we're really doing is making sure that the tech looks good, making sure that we have pieces that people love, and creating a brand that feels legitimate, that people can trust, and that represents the culture.
Excellent. And what's your plan as you come out of this pilot to sort of go out and acquire more customers?
Yeah, so our go-to-market has a host of a number of different things. There's the sort of basic things you'd see in an e-commerce, right? There's the traditional press, there's the going on podcasts, there's the, we're running this crowd fund, which is really exciting because we have this narrative that we're democratizing luxury, but we're also democratizing the startup investment space. So it really lends to our sort of credibility. But really the main goal is strategic partnerships. My background is in media and entertainment. I've worked with celebrities, influencers, and we're able to really leverage those relationships in this to sort of use that to be on top and to sort of come out with a bang.
Okay, excellent. Vidya, unless you have more, I think that's it for me.
Yeah, I just have one more question. I'm curious as to potential partnerships, right? Because again, if you think about things like Rent the Runway and they're focused on clothing, like, have you reached out? Is there a potential to get like this glamour dress and the jewelry to go with it?
Yeah, so in terms of, we're still quite small to be reaching out to a Rent the Runway, but I sort of look at our strategic partnerships more with potential like Black celebrities that are known to really push out, Black brands. And so there's been some talks around that. I can't quite go into it, but that's more so in terms of by having that relationship that then opens the door to major retailers that we may want to partner with. I think that the exciting thing about what we're doing is the potential of being a turnkey fashion sustainable option. When I look at a model that's worked with this, Fashion File, who's in the resale space, they partnered with Nordstrom. And so for Nordstrom, if you go in and you have a piece of clothing and you want to return it, what do they do with returned clothes, right? Well, you can go over to Fashion File Corner and then get it on consignment and get credit. So that's the big picture. But in order to get there, we do need those individuals who are able to open the doors for us. Excellent.
Thanks so much, Melissa. Good luck.
Well done, Melissa. Love all the questions. Did you have another question, Joshua? Or you're good?
Oh, no, I'm good. No.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Melissa. You did a great job. And that is the end of all our pitching, ladies. Wonderful job, female founders. You all did fantastic. Judges, you did equally as fantastic. So now we're going to transition actually into the pitches deliberation. But please, I always have to remind the judges, keep yourself on screen, because as soon as you get into the breakout room, we can't see you. So just keep on screen as you're transferring over to the breakout room. So we're saying goodbye to the judges for now. Thank you so much for all of your time. We right now, the second thing is that it's time to vote. Audience out there, we would love to know who your audience choice is for the Southwest region. So we're really excited. We always love hearing from the audience and getting some wonderful founders that get, zoned up in the Audience Choice Awards. So the voting link is down there in the chat. So click on that or visit, I'm so sorry, Slido.com. So that is Slido.com and enter code 54672. Again, it will be down in the chat. We would love to hear from you. We want you to vote for Audience Choice. Please, please, please. These founders have worked so hard. So show them some love. Now we're going to have, and the third thing, now we're going to have a special talk with Karen Duchaine of Cooley. Can't wait to hear about it after I come back from the judges' deliberation. And Karen, I think that you're ready to go, right? Wonderful. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Sylvia. And thanks again to all the great presentations. I love confident, powerful, motivated, inventing women. And so it's a great pleasure of mine to be able to be involved. I am going to give a presentation that I hope is going to be interesting to And I hope it's not just going to be to kill the time. So we'll see, but hopefully some topics that are of interest to founders. See if I can do this. All right. The first thing that I want to talk about is Cooley Go. In fact, if there's anything that you take from my 10 minutes today, write down Cooley Go. CooleyGo.com is our portal for founders. It's a free tool. You'll find a bunch of white papers on there about topics of interest to founders and entrepreneurs. And you will also find legal resources like Cooley's Blessed, form documents for a lot of things that early companies need. So again, if there's anything that you take from this 10 minutes with me, CooleyGo.com. On the next slide, on this slide, I want to talk a little bit about deals and deal volume. So on Cooley Go, you will also find our quarterly venture financing report. It's an interactive reporting tool that we publish on Cooley Go, so you can find out what's going on with respect to deal terms. And this slide is a little bit of information regarding recent financing trends. Cooley handled 399 disclosable deals in the second quarter, representing more than $22 billion of invested capital. This was a record level since inception of our report that we started back in 2004. However, you'll see deal volumes are starting to slow during that second quarter, and we're seeing a little bit of the same thing in the third quarter. So it's too early to say, but we may be looking at a slowdown in venture financing deals. The median pre-money valuations remained historically high in the second quarter. The data points to valuation increases in later stage deals, most notably in Series B and Series C deals. The percentage of deals with median pre-money valuation greater than 100 million increased to 48% of transactions during the quarter, a new record. In a key indicator of investor optimism, the percentage of up rounds reached 97% of second quarter deals. This is another record that we've never seen. Deal terms in second quarter also continue to favor companies. I'm going to talk a little bit about equity financing terms. And when I talk about equity financing, I'm talking about Series A in particular, but we'll also touch on some Series C topics. There is a language to venture financing. And so I'm going to try and give you seriously a very quick crash course on some of this language today. We'll start by talking about valuation and what that means, and then we'll talk about some other key venture deal terms, and then I'll point you again to CooleyGo.com. So pre-money valuation and post-money valuation are sort of the most critical features of a priced round for your company, and this is language that pre-money, it's often shortened to pre-money and post-money. And when people talk about that, this is what they're talking about. The pre-money valuation is used to determine the per share purchase price for the shares in your company that you sell in an equity financing. The per share price is the pre-money valuation, whatever that number is, 10 million, 30 million, that's the pre-money valuation of your entire company divided by the number of shares that you have outstanding before the financing. Usually that number is a fully diluted number, which means it's the shares that are outstanding. It's also the shares that you have committed to issue, baby, because people have a right to exercise notes or series or C safes, or options or warrants. All that goes into the denominator to figure out the per share price. Post-money or post-money valuation is the number of shares that are outstanding after the financing multiplied by the price that they paid. Very frequently, the post-money is not the pre-money plus the investment. And that's because adjustments are made to what I was talking about with respect to what's the fully diluted outstanding number as part of the financing process. Maybe you've increased your option pool. Maybe in that financing, you issued warrants, for example. And so you didn't get money for those warrants, but it increases the denominator of that fraction. In any case, I know this is really fast, and you'll find materials on Cooley Go that describe this as well. But these are sort of the key terms for you when you're negotiating a price round for your company to understand what is meant by pre-money valuation and post-money valuation. Something else, if you're going to do a venture financing round in your company, and you're going to take on investment from sophisticated institutional investors, you're going to have a negotiation about your board of directors. You're going to have a conversation about what that board looks like after the financing, who's on the board. VCs typically want a board seat or more than one. And in that financing, you're going to find yourself negotiating a voting agreement. And a voting agreement is an agreement among the shareholders, both the investors in your price round and significant common stockholders, including the founders, to agree to vote for the board of directors to be comprised of designated people going forward into the future. Liquidation preferences is something else you're going to discuss, you're going to negotiate when you're talking about issuing preferred stock. So venture capital funds just about only invest in something called preferred stock. Preferred stock is a different class of stock than you own as a founder. You own common stock in your C corporation. A venture fund is going to own preferred stock. And one of the key features of preferred stock is it has a liquidation preference. A liquidation preference means that if you were to liquidate your company, either because you just liquidate it, although that's probably pretty unlikely, or because you sell it, which is most likely, and which is honestly the situation in which your venture fund investors are hoping for, is that you use their investment, you grow your company, and you sell it for 10x, or you sell it for some significant multiple on their investment. That's what everybody's hoping for, and that's the most common liquidation preference thing that you need to worry about. But liquidation preferences are downside protection. So for the investors, liquidation preference says that if you liquidate, in other words, if you sell your company, the preferred stock are going to get their money back first, before you as the founder or before any other stockholder of your company. Liquidation preferences come in a couple different flavors. The first is non-participating, which is the most common according to our statistics that we're tracking right now, currently the most common. And that is that the investors either get their preference, they either get their money back, or they get to participate in the big upside along with the common, but they don't get both. Fully participating means that they get their investment back first, and then they participate with the common and take advantage of whatever's left after the preferred stock money's off the table. Sometimes that's capped. Sometimes the preference is actually more than just their money back, although that is pretty rare, particularly on the West Coast. Here's our current information about what liquidation preferences look like in the last couple of years. You'll see that a one-time liquidation preference is by far and away the most common that we're seeing in venture deals. You also may have a conversation with your investors, or you likely will, and to be honest, you likely want to have a conversation with your venture fund investors about the option pool. After they invest, how much common stock of the company are you going to have at your fingertips in order to recruit and retain the right people? And you do that very frequently in a venture-backed company. A big part of how you recruit and retain key people is by offering them equity in a company by way of options, stock options, or restricted stock. And so you want to have an agreement with the investors that there will be a sufficient pool set aside after the financing for you to have that ability to attract and retain people. You may also have to have a conversation about your own stock. Hopefully, if you don't have venture fund investors yet, you own your stock in your company outright. However, very frequently, and particularly with the founders that we heard today, my sense is that when you are able to attract venture investors, they're going to be investing in you. That means that they may very likely want you to subject your own shares to vesting in order to keep you around. So that is a conversation to be had as part of particularly as part of your first venture financing round. A couple other things that are very common in venture financings: a request for information rights, a request for preemptive rights, which means that if you do a subsequent financing, the initial venture investors have the right to participate in that financing up to their pro rata. The information rights mean that you may need to get audited financials of your company for the first time ever. And so just be aware that if you agree to that, it can sort of cause you a lot of back office headaches that you're probably going to need to hire somebody to help with, and it can be a significant expense for your company. Protective provisions is the last thing that I'm going to talk about, and that is a set of provisions that the venture fund will negotiate for, and they are basically things that the company can no longer do without the preferred stocks approval, the venture fund investors approval. And it's frequently a laundry list of anywhere between 8 and 20 things. It's things like amending your certificate of incorporation or your bylaws. It's selling the company, taking on significant debt. It might be things like hiring and firing executive officers, setting up subsidiaries, any number of things. And so when I bring this up because they're inevitable in a venture financing. You're going to have to deal with these, but this is one feature of venture financings that particularly when you take it together with like the board of director rights and other things, that a lot of control of your company goes out of your hands when you take venture money. And look, I do this for a living, and I think venture funds are fantastic in growing businesses, but this is one way where you're going to be faced with negotiating things where some things are going to be outside of your control going forward. That's all I have. Maybe I went through that even quicker than I thought I would, but that's all I have for today. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, Karen. Raven here. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Did I talk too fast? I might have talked too fast.
No, you did great. You did great. We've
Okay.
had the last couple times our judges have taken more than their 5 to 10 minutes to really figure it out. So thank you so much for joining us and for sponsoring and for being a huge part of this. We love having Cooley come alongside us.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, you've known me for a while, Raven, so you know how much I really enjoy entrepreneurs and female entrepreneurs in particular. And so it's a great pleasure for me to be involved in this again.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you. Lauren and I are going to join you, and we're going to talk about special purpose vehicles like we have for the past couple weeks. Hi, everyone. I'm Raven O'Neill. I am the executive director of Stellabs. Oh, and here come the judges. Real quick, Lauren Rowley, tell us about an SPV on the spot.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. So my name is Lauren Rowley. I'm involved with Stella Angels, and we are coordinating SPVs for the companies who are actively pitching or actively raising who pitched here today. So we have an SPV for Obánj. We have an SPV for Cirque-It Fitness, as well as, what was the last one? Baby Barista, such a cool concept. So if you'd like to learn more, please fill out the link in the chat, and we would be following up with you and giving you more information so you can get involved.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you, everyone, for creating a little bit more time for us. We're welcoming back all the founders. So super excited to have you all back. It was hard we had some great discussions in the judges deliberation. Thank you again, judges, for the time that you spent with us today. It's such a pleasure to know about your investment thesis, what you find is important, what's important in a pitch competition. So thank you so much. And founders, before we announce the winners, want to make sure that you know that you wowed us. All the pitches today were fantastic. Great product market fit, great team conversations, great pitch from beginning to end. The Q&A was, sorry, but I think the best in the next couple of regions because of great questions, and also your answers were fantastic, right? So well done there. So we're gonna, the format in the next couple of minutes is that I'm going to announce the winner of the Southwest Regional, then I'm going to announce the audience choice winner, and then our judges will give you a little bit of feedback, right? Because I think it's so important as we grow our women's economy that we can take feedback. We say, like, you did a great job here, and that's how we grow. That's how we support each other. So know that this is a very supportive environment. So first and foremost, the audience choice winner for the Southwest Regional is Obánj. Yay! Well done, Melissa. You did such a great job and the audience loved you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Wonderful. And then the winner of the Southwest Regional Women's Fast Pitch is Neuro Rehab VR. Well done, Vina. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you so
congrats
much.
to everybody too.
Yeah, as it's great. All of you guys are all supportive of each other, especially on the chat and all that. So we have the audience choice of Obánj. Joshua, would you like to give some feedback?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say, Melissa, that was a great presentation, amazing company you're building. You did a great job conveying like the value proposition, the business itself, where you're taking it, how well you're doing in the pilot. I mean, it really is an interesting business that you're standing up here, and you did a great job presenting it. And also great job in the Q&A, just plugging, like you have those relationships with celebrities, you have really big dreams for this platform. I think those are really amazing things to cover, but yeah, overall, amazing job.
Thank you so much.
Next up, sorry, Melissa, next up is Julius to talk about Neuro Rehab.
So Vina, again, congratulations for winning the Southwest competition. So great job in regarding to disrupting an archaic industry that's very critical, and the aspect of the verticals, just like your everyday folks, but the potential of going to helping our veterans and students and so forth, especially having FDA approval and it's patented. It's phenomenal. You're creating your own little ecosystem for potential for growth and changing people's lives for the better, especially using VR, innovative technology. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Wonderful job. Now, next video is going to take Rogue, Waves, and Cirque-It.
So I'll start with Kate. Just wonderful job. Just your passion for what you've done really, really impressed us. I think you're solving one of the biggest problems that the planet has. So please keep going and make this work for all of us. We loved your focus on the customer and really understanding who she was and just having a picture of the customer in a deck is something that always warms my heart. And then just personally, we were so impressed by you. I mean, you taught yourself how to 3D print. And I love the fact that you put that into the presentation. So put all of these three things together and you're doing something that's so important. So thank you for being here and good luck as you move forward. Yay. And so moving to Elizabeth for Cirque-It Fitness. We just so enjoyed talking about your business and what you're doing. I think you've identified a really big need for the fitness studios. They're always looking to retain customers, to bring new customers in, to try something different. And having something that's just so much fun and that people can, who hasn't said, like, we know you want to do what the circus performers do. So I think that's just incredibly impressive as well. I also think that, the fact that you've got the choreographer from Pink, I mean, gosh, I know that's just so much fun and there's so much potential as you think about other people that you can partner with and other areas in terms of bringing, whether it's like Cirque du Soleil or it's other types of music videos, we can just see you growing this and continuing to build on the types of programming. So again, really well done and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Great job. And last but definitely not least is Baby Barista. Kim, you're going to give some feedback.
Sure. And Cara, great job. You did such a terrific job telling the story. And, what I love to see in the founders is the passion and, hey, I've got a personal need and here I'm going to turn it into a solution for others. So we thought it was a very compelling story, a very necessary device. And, as we talked about in the judges room, lots of moms out there who need this product and need this solution. So we're really excited to see what you do and how it's going to come to market, because you do a great job of telling the story and putting all the pieces together for why this is the device that's going to win out in the long run.
Well, wonderful job, everybody. Thank you, judges, again, for a wonderful time. I want to just give a couple of announcements before we end up today. We want to call all accredited investors. You've heard amazing pitches today. Great innovations across everything. We saw future of fitness, future of fashion, future of family tech. I mean, just amazing entrepreneurs in so many different industries. That's why it's so hard, these pitch competitions. It's not about the winner. It's about the supportive environment and the investors who raise their hand and write checks. That's what we're all about. We've set up special purpose vehicles that Lauren has talked about for all the Women's Fast Pitch participants who are actively raising rounds. And also we need to have investor interest to start those SPVs as well. So I just want to kind of make sure that we know that we want investors to raise their hand, say, I'm interested actually in this, this founder, and we will send you our 1- and 2-page summaries of each of these founders who are interesting for you. So please click on the form and the link in the chat below to learn more about how you can activate your capital in any one of these founders. Or join the post-event Zoom call with Lauren Rowley. Get to know us of Stella Angels. I'll be there as well, so we can answer all of your questions about the SPV or anything around the founders. Next up is really, this is all leading up to the Women's Venture Summit. It is an experience like no other. This is like Christmas for me all year round. It is my favorite time of year, the Women's Venture Summit. Find out who wins at the Women's Fast Pitch Finals on day 2, making sure that they get that $10,000 investment and a $30K of gift in kind services. We have over 50 plus speakers. Yes, 50 plus speakers, from Elvest to wonderful investors that are coming together to really bring value to our ecosystem. 20 plus interactive breakout sessions. It's not just about like sitting back and listening to a couple of people talk. It's about really interacting with our ecosystem to build the women's economy. There's 2 tracks for founders and investors. There's group networking and one-on-one networking through the app, which is Swap Card. Now available is, this is a new thing that we're announcing this week, and we've been announcing it through social media. So connect with us on social media, is in-person tickets for New York City and San Diego. We have wonderful locations that are led by wonderful women in their ecosystems to bring people together in a very limited amount. So the seating is limited for the in-person tickets. So please sign up ASAP. We are also virtual. Obviously, we're going to be broadcasting globally, but please, if you are interested, New York City people, raise your hand, maybe chat it below. San Diego people, or, Southwest regional, come on down to San Diego and join us. And in closing, I want to thank all the founders. I know it takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to where you are right now. So I want to encourage you. You did a great job pitching. Everybody who was on the chat and our audience, thank you for joining us. The judges, thank you. Huge amount of gratitude to your time that you spent with us today and using your thought processes and your decision-making processes to actually pick the winner today. Thank you to our sponsors, Cooley and the Next Wave Impact Foundation and the Impact Seat. Join us for our last Women's Fast Pitch in San Diego next week at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you have joined us for 3 of these Women's Fast Pitch, you can get a promo code to get a discount on your ticket. So let us know, connect with us. We're here to be your support system, to be your ecosystem for women founders and women investors. Thank you again for joining us. Goodbye.